Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing an important update this week about the economy and the investment market so you can better understand what we see and how we're positioned for with your portfolio. You know, earnings season officially started last week with Alcoa, and the numbers actually came out really good. Yesterday we had IBM that came out, Intel, and Yahoo. We're going to have a slew of other companies coming out throughout the next 2-3 weeks. And so far things look pretty darn good. One of the things that I want to talk a little bit about is not only is the economy getting better, but ultimately I think we have a chance obviously to grind what I call higher throughout the year. Nothing goes up in a straight line. You're not going to have every week up 1% or 2%. Some weeks you'll go up 3%. One week you'll come down 3%. One week you'll go 4%. One week you'll come down 1%. Things don't go up in a straight line. They don't go up every single day. In fact, you could have months and quarters where the market is flat or down a little bit, only to take off again. Our Global Tactical Opportunity Portfolio, which we look at our proprietary relative strength ranking monthly and reallocate, is doing exceptionally well this year, and we continue to obviously run the numbers and do the important portfolio changes that our clients pay us to do every single day. We follow a disciplined strategy, which means reducing risk in severe down markets. Ultimately, I'm telling a lot of clients and also non-clients, people that listen to my show, turn off the TV. The news that you hear on the TV, most of it's just propaganda, sensationalized stories, basically to get people's emotions stirred to sell advertising. At the end of the day, all of this noise, as we call it, which the news people call news, is really noise, is almost all worthless information repeated over and over and over again, only to stir up your emotions and basically to sell advertising and commercial time. That's not a way to run a portfolio. That's not a way to run an economy or any business, but this is today's media. There's more media today than there's ever been in history, and it seems like it's increasing at an alarming rate every single day. I remember when I was a child, 35, 40 years ago, and there was basically a half-hour news twice a day at 5 and 10 o'clock at night. That was it. Today, it's non-stop news all the time. There's no more new news. It's just the same news over and over again. But unfortunately, people listen to this news constantly and they really think things are much worse or maybe even much better than they really are. So at the end of the day, turn off the TV. That's not an investment strategy. One needs to be followed. That's what our firm does each and every day. Back to the economy though, things are getting better. And ultimately, what we see as we progress through the year is a little bit better GDP numbers. I wouldn't be shocked that GDP numbers actually show up better than 3% this year in the U.S. And the reason for that is I think there's a lot of pent-up demand. Investors have been kind of watching what they're spending, consumers in the last 3 years, and finally realizing they need to do something. So again, I think that pent-up demand could be a surprise to the U.S. economy. On the emerging market front, most emerging market economies are actually doing pretty darn good. China's been in the limelight a lot in the last few weeks because their GDP growth has slowed down to 8.1%. Let me tell you what, folks, we would die in the U.S. for 8.1% GDP growth. So at the end of the day, China's doing fine. We don't own it in our portfolio because relative strength-wise and our proprietary formula has pushed it out of the portfolio for other sectors that are actually outperforming China. But it may reemerge in our portfolio sometime later in the year. We'll let our strategy dictate when we add that back in the portfolio. But for now, we're watching China. We don't own it, but we do own some small cap emerging market in our portfolio. Year to date, things are going exceptionally well. I anticipate hopefully better times ahead as we progress through 2012. And as always, if you have questions about your portfolio, make sure you give us a call. We'd love to sit down and talk with you or even do a phone review if needed. And as always, we always appreciate your business and we appreciate your referrals. If you know somebody who you'd like to refer to our firm, please do so. We always like new clients and we like to better people's situation. Make sure you have yourself an extremely profitable week and call us again if you do have any questions.